There's just one place where you could drive a new Acura ZDX for only $239 a month. The Customer Appreciation Sale at Acura of Pembroke Pines. Thank you for making us number one.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help.
Oh, yeah, Monday night, 7 p. It is Talkin Racing now. I am Sean Stanley, joined as always by Spencer O'Neill. You might know him as No Doubt on the chat if you watch the Squared Circle Digest. Spencer, we have been out for the last 2 weeks. Always got his FSU stuff on.
We're not represented in the basketball tournament this year, so I had to.
Not even in IP, huh? Not even.
Listen, it's spring football right now, so you know we're all winners.
Yeah, well, Canes ain't there either, so you know. Which one was worse, Canes or FSU? Who had the worst season?
I don't know, but both of our coaches retired, so it's going to be a new horizon in the future.
Ars said, I ain't even finishing the season. I'm out of this crap. Boy. See ya. But we are here to talk some racing, and we did not talk about the race in Sin City, so we will start off with that. The Vegas race, which was probably won by one of the most popular winners you'll get this season, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, I told you earlier, I was ready to take my victory lap last week with Josh Berry. I said he was going to win a race this year. I didn't know it was going to be the next week, but it seemed like it was imminent, and I was right. He was imminent. Yeah. And, it was good for him. It's his first win.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're partnered with, when you look at it, they're basically just another team for Penske in a way. So you've got Logano, Blaney, Cindric, and the Woods brothers, basically.
Yeah.
Did I miss anybody? Who else? Pence's only got 3, right? They didn't go to 4, right? Penske stayed at 3?
I'm not sure if they have more than 3. I know they have 3.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. I know those 3.
I believe Buscher runs some of the same stuff, and Noah Gregson runs some of the same stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so, and man, dude, it was so good to see, again, the Woods brothers always gets that, they used to get that one win every year, there's a win somewhere coming for them, and I was happy to see, and good for Josh Berry. I'm looking at it right now, man, like I'm very, and we're going to get to it at the end of the show when we talk about the standings, but like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, wow, like consistency really does kind of win out in a way, but it doesn't feel like it when you're watching the race.
Yeah, as far as points, we've got Chris Buscher at 9th. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, Bubba Wallace sitting in 7th.
Mm-hmm.
He's had 2 great back-to-backs with Vegas and Homestead on the mile and a halves. I know he was in the top 3 this week. I know he was in the top 10 last week, right? Or top 5?
I don't remember what he got in Vegas, but I know that he was third this week. He got passed with like about 6 laps to go by Larson, and then then he also got a stage. Didn't he win a stage win?
Bubba does have a stage. I think he won that in Vegas, right? He got that in Vegas. He didn't get a stage win this week, did he? It was who got it this week? It was Blaney.
Yep.
And Hamlin, my guy.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Geez, I almost didn't give my boy's props. But again, we'll talk about that later. What stood out for you with the Vegas? For me, it was all the issues, man. Just not putting tires on properly, having to stop, and I mean, Christopher Bell had to stop in Chase Briscoe's to get his. It was just like speeding penalty, whatever could happen. It felt like was happening on that race, and it was just odd to me that you had that much. It just felt like nobody had raced before. They go to Vegas, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. This is what we got to do.
Yeah, it's not like we come here twice a year. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what stood out? So McDowell on the pole. He got his first pole for Spire. That was their first pole ever, so that was cool. He fell back pretty quickly. He didn't do much, but he did get the pole. So he had a good qualifying. I thought, the 2 cars, Cindric, he dominated stage 1.
Yeah.
I think he led 50 laps. 30 of them, the very first 30 of them were pretty clean. I also wrote in my notes, constant mistakes in the field entering pit roads too fast. Just penalties. So a pattern I've seen with Bubba Wallace, I saw it this week also. He gets fresh tires and he comes out fast and he comes out aggressive and he passes and he's real good. And then once those tires fade, he kind of fades.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not able to.
He has not got that down yet. He hasn't got it down to where he can aggressively control his tire wear. He runs them out and then he's holding on till the end. And sometimes it works out. Again, that's where that was my part about where the stages. I feel like you're giving the drivers and the crew chief that out.
Yeah.
We know we only got to get to lap 60. I can balls to the wall and then I don't have to worry about that, And I feel like I like the stages and I think the stages should stay, but I don't think it should give you an automatic caution to come in and get a free stop.
It's not a bad theory. I've been thinking about it. I'm kind of coming around. Because
again, you got then it's going to force, and again, I'm not saying Bubba Wallace isn't a good driver, but it's going to force them to, again, if he can't, he's got to come in under green. You're going to have to start, figuring out a way to keep those tires fresher or something, I mean,
so Sean,
everybody else does it. It's like Days of Thunder. There's 32 other cars out there that can finish on tires.
So this was the 6th race this week in Homestead.
Yes.
And this was the first race where we had green flag pit stops.
Yes.
How does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, six races.
And think about this. 2 of them were super speedways.
Yes.
Wait.
I mean, those kind of make a little bit of sense because there's going to be chaos. There's going to be crashes
and things like that. You're right. Yes.
But I mean, you expect Phoenix and Vegas to kind of be like Homestead, where people fall in line and you just kind of run for a while.
Like Phoenix had a lot of issues. There was just maybe tires. I mean, I know they did the option tire there, but it felt like there was more issues at Phoenix than I felt at Homestead. Homestead was a lot of I guess there was a spin, Suarez coming into the pits, and then who brought out the late caution? I mean, there was a couple where they got too high and then it drug down. So, but I guess I felt like when you looked at Phoenix, and it's supposed to be the quote unquote conservative track. That's why they do the stuff there, and it felt like maybe it's the racing and the way the cars are and the way. With the option tire this year, it changed it up. But I also felt like Vegas and Homestead were a lot more racier than normal. Now, again, I get it. Homestead gets stretched out after the long runs.
And we didn't get the tires.
Like that. Yeah, no, I know. I was
Yeah,
upset.
what was that? I thought,
I think it's like I just think they're so afraid to like pull. And I know everybody talks about the officiating, how certain things happen and this and that. Why not just make the option tires all the time?
Yeah.
Let the crews figure it out. Look, you get 10 sets of tires. If you want 3 option sets and 7 regular, make it more. I don't know. Again, this is dummy me talking here who doesn't race and couldn't tell you what the difference is. But if you say, okay, you get 10 sets of tires, do you want to go 5 regular, 5 option? Do you want to go 8 regular, 2 option? You figure it out.
Well, I like the limitation on the option tires because it kind of plays that game of like when you're going to use them.
When you're going to use them. Yep.
So, figure out whatever the limitation is. It can even change per track.
Yeah.
But we just didn't get them at all at Homestead. No. And I don't think we got them at Vegas either.
No. Phoenix has been the only track that got them.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested to see the last race of the year, the championship race. I got to believe they're not going to use the option tire.
I hope they do.
Because that becomes
a wild card.
A wild card, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because again, now it feels like they do Homestead and Phoenix because the races are so conservative. You don't get that wreck or somebody takes somebody else out. Like, we've seen it. Phoenix this year, like I said, there's a couple tires where people got into the wall, but there wasn't a big one. Like I guess Vegas kind of had a big one. It was like 5 cars involved in the one spin there, but like I don't know, man. I want to see, and I started seeing it this year. It feels like the racing, what's the right word? They're racing harder. It feels like, especially at the restarts. Maybe they figured that out with this car.
Yeah,
you get the restarts in Phoenix. It was that way. In Vegas, it was that way, and in Homestead, it was that way. Now, ultimately, once they're spread out, then you kind of get the follow the leader type thing, but. It was some good racing to me, at the restarts, definitely. And because there were so many damn issues, it felt like in Vegas, that restart started becoming more and more important.
Absolutely. So let's see. What else happened in Vegas? I got Blaney pretty much dominating stage 2.
Yes.
Yeah. He... We drove from 28th to 6th.
It was funny because the Penske cars dominated 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then technically, not that Josh Berry dominated, but he ended up outlasting and winning 3. So, you got the Penske kind of just took it to everybody in Vegas in a way when you look at it.
Yeah, they did.
How about how the mighty fall?
What do you mean?
Christopher Bell.
Yeah, he's had a couple of bad weeks.
The last 2 weeks. Oh.
He caused one of our only cautions this week with that spin out. Or was there a caution for him? There was, right? Because there were cars coming around, they were coming at him.
Yes. The only one that was a spin that was not a caution was Suarez at the pit. Everything else, there was 2 other spins where there was Bell and one more, and I can't remember who it is now. And then, of course, you get your breaks for stages. But yeah, man, I just thought Christopher Bell, it was one of those things to where I think at the end he ended up having a okay finish, but he wasn't really involved in anything the whole day in Vegas. And the biggest thing was him stopping in Briscoe's to tighten up the thing and then having to go to the back of the field. And then NASCAR having to send out the thing this week saying, hey, that's okay. You just have to go to the back of the thing if you pit in there, and just reminding people that it's like, I'm guessing maybe some people.
That's really interesting.
How is this? Because he does find his teammates pit Briscoe,
right?
And he goes in there, and they're like, no, get in the pit. And at first, it felt like Briscoe's team was kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? And then I guess they signaled down, and the guys, okay, doop, he hits the
tighten this up, yeah.
But it was odd when it happened, and even like Larry Mack and them were like, huh. All right.
I thought it was brilliant.
Oh no, it was very brilliant because you saw other cars. Kyle Busch lost the rear wheel.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody else. Who was it? Actually, I think it was Briscoe, right? Briscoe had lost the wheel earlier in the race.
I believe you're right.
So again, it's like you had so many like mistakes from drivers and mistakes from the pits that it made that race a very interesting. And then you watched, I was watching again today just to look back to make sure I didn't miss it, because I was like, Josh Berry kind of came out of nowhere, but he really didn't.
No,
Because
he was up there all day.
He finished fifth in the second stage.
Yeah.
He was just there, and it was like, oh, okay. Because I felt like when I watched it, it was like, bam, Barry out of nowhere. Here he comes. And again, you still have your guys, the 24s, somehow always finding a way to be there. Like, it is amazing to me how many of these guys just kind of, the young Kevin Harvick in a way. It's like they're just there, man. They don't stand out. They don't do anything, crazy where they dominate. But you look and you see the 24. You see, the 48. You see Tyler Reddick usually. It's just like you just see the same suspects all the time,
right?
Just hanging around, waiting for something to happen, and then they pounce.
Well, I mean, Byron's the top of the leaderboard as far as points, right? He's got a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah,
and
he does have one win too as well.
He's got one win, yeah. But so he's got one win. He's got 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s, and no did not finishes, and with only 1 stage win.
That always throws me off, though, man.
The DNFs?
No, it's like, okay, so if you look at this, he's got 6 starts, right?
Yeah.
He's got the win. He's got 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s.
Yeah. Are they counting the win as a top 5? Are they counting?
That's going to start as a top 5, and then he must have had a, no, I don't know. I mean, like, it's odd, I guess, or maybe they're saying 4. He's got 1 in the top 10 also, because I've never been able to I've never really looked at it as hard as I have lately.
Well, if it was 1, 3, and 4, that would be 8. We don't have 8 races, so they have to be doubling up. Yeah,
they would definitely have to be. But even if you did 3 top 5s and 4 top 10s, that's 7. So you're still a race. So I mean, maybe they just blended in together and figured it out, because everybody else kind of adds up. Well, no, Kyle Larson's the same way actually. Kyle Larson, but everybody else adds up to at least 6. Oh no, not Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell's got 3, 3, 3, 9.
Yeah, figure that one out. He's got 3 wins. Well, I guess all of his top 5s and all of his top 10s are wins. So he either wins the race or he's not in the top 10.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's true, because that's the way he's been these last few weeks. Hell, look, what does he drop? 3 spots in 2 weeks at the 1.5 mile tracks, man. And now we're going to the paperclip, baby.
Martinsville.
Martinsville. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how, again, we'll discuss that more at the end, but like you go from super speedway, road, 1.5 mile, short track.
Martinsville. Yeah.
Martinsville. I mean, it's like,
and it's not just a short track. It's like, it's its own course. And, it's very unique.
Very, very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, that's going to be very, very interesting there. All right. Anything else that we left off from Vegas before we jump to my home track, Homestead?
No, let's talk Homestead.
All right, man. This is a track that Kyle Larson has been so good at that I can't believe that he had never won here.
Yeah.
He is probably one of the only ones, and again, when they showed the right side of that car, you saw how ate up that thing was. He was up there, but he's one of the only ones that runs like that consistently. And he does it all the time, and he usually ends up maybe tearing up his car a little bit too much. And this time he figured it out, and he had a hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, he won the trucks. Was he second, third in Xfinity?
I want to say it was third.
I can't remember where he finished in Xfinity, and then he won in Cup, and then he also won a dirt track earlier in the week on his little his other racing that he does. So, man, dude, it is amazing to me when you look at the driving style of Kyle Larson. I almost said Kyle Busch. Of Kyle Larson. And it's refreshing to me. It's refreshing to me that he just it's funny to me too also because I believe like him and Ross Chastain and some of those other guys I feel like have the same driving style, but like Kyle Larson has brought it full bore and can control it more in the Cup car than what some of these other guys can.
Well, I mean, when it comes to Homestead, like, I mean, what's the saying? It's Homestead, ride the wall, right?
Yeah.
Like, you might as well put it on a T-shirt. Yeah,
Yeah,
ride the
but
wall.
not many people can do it properly.
Or for 200 or 300 or 400 miles, like it's a long time.
Yeah.
You can ride the wall for a while, but eventually you're going to make a mistake, and that's when it eats you up.
Yep. Or you hit it real quick, and then you never go as far up again as you can, and again, then you play into the hands of the track, basically.
Well, these next gen cars, though, they're a little bit tougher. So,
That's
like,
right. They're kind of like the Xfinity cars, where they take a beating and can keep going.
Right. As long as you don't necessarily take out a tire, like,
Yeah.
you can do really well. And you can hit it a little bit. Now, I was surprised that he was able to really run the wall so cleanly with the truck.
Yes.
And can we talk about, so while we're talking about the truck real quick, and then also Xfinity before we get to the Cup Series, you know, there was one person all weekend that I thought really gave Kyle Larson the most trouble, and he had the same issue both races, Corey Heim.
Yeah.
So in the truck, I mean, he was strong in the truck that he kept losing power with like 30 laps to losing power, cycling through, getting the truck restarted, getting it up to speed, and still racing and like staying competitive.
Yep.
And that's what finally got him is he had gotten back up to the lead. He had not lost power for like, I don't know, maybe 8 laps. And then with about 3, 4, 5 left, he lost power and that was it. And, you know, he ended up wherever he ended up, 3rd or 4th or something, maybe 5th, I want to say.
Yeah.
But then we get to the very next day, you know, Corey Heim is running an Xfinity car and he's running really well. And we get about halfway through and this time he just straight up lost power. So I don't know who had the button. You know, we're talking about different teams, different cars.
They didn't want it to be Heim time.
They didn't want it to be Heim time. Yeah, somebody. I'm calling foul play.
Yeah, you had your time, Heim time. Boop, done.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Kyle Larson sitting in the seat like, boop.
I got the button. Yeah. Let's just turn your car off real quick.
Man, it's so funny though because like you hear everybody say, "Oh, certain tracks go to certain drivers' styles," and man, Homestead is made for Kyle Larson in a way. I just couldn't believe that he never won there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, really? You've never won at this? The way it feels like he is the best at doing what you have to do at that track, but it's never paid off for him.
To go in, race all 3 races with the intention of winning every race that weekend and never won before. That's
competitive and all.
Yeah.
God.
So like that says something about how confident you are with it, right?
Yeah.
But that's also 800 riding the wall. Like it's a long weekend.
Yeah. And that's a lot of focus and a lot of, man, because there's a couple times when they were 3 wide, that outside car, and of course the middle car is going to always look bad, and there's a couple times where Kyle Larson was that middle car, and you could see his back end kind of go out, and then it was like, all right, let me live the fight another day. Let me back off a little bit.
Yeah.
And make up the ground. And that's also another problem with, like, where I think a lot of people, you saw it with Bowman. I think Larson pushed Bowman so hard that he ended up getting too high and he hit the wall. And then
at the end, that last pass there. Well, yeah, Bowman hadn't been necessarily so tight on the wall all day. Now he was up there, but he wasn't, 2, 3, 4 inches. And he knew he had to because Larson was coming and he had to dirty the air. He had to put up the block and he needed to maintain the speed because, if not, he's going to do that down and slide up and try to pinch him off. And he just hit the wall for him. You got somebody coming behind you. You lose focus for a moment. You touch the wall a little bit and it's over. Yeah, and that was it.
Larson forced the issue and made him make the mistake.
Right.
Where Larson didn't have to go for that try. Because sometimes we've seen it before where they try to do that, go down and they come up a little bit too much and they end up hitting the wall themselves. And then they end up, kind of losing that speed there. But overall, I thought Homestead seemed to be cleaner for pits and drivers. I didn't see as many
Kinda.
penalties as far as I'm trying to think what penalties that I missed because I was watching it a lot of time without the audio because I was at a family function, so I wasn't able to audio at all. So I might have missed some penalties. What penalties were there? Or was there?
So I don't remember many penalties.
Yeah. Okay.
But when I say kinda, what I mean is, Homestead's a tight pit road.
Yeah, type.
And we got Josh Berry coming out hitting the side of Kyle Larson,
right.
which then popped into Joey Logano, and they both turn around and are facing the wrong way in pit road, which was an interesting scene. You had Suarez spin out, but that was kind of him slowing down coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, he had to slow it down, and man, it felt like a Homestead race, but it felt racier, if that makes any sense to people, because like the restarts really felt more important on this race than normal. It just kind of felt like, okay, it just, I don't know. It's hard to explain because for me, I always look at Homestead, by the time they got to 3, maybe the first lap, it was usually already spreading out. This race felt like there was some racing and jockeying going on throughout the field, not necessarily always at the front of the field, but throughout the field more than any other Homestead race that I can, remember as of late.
Yeah. We got some good racing back in like 7th and 8th with Austin Cindric and Bubba Wallace at one point. Got a little anger, got a little frustration, got a little bumping.
Yeah, those guys don't really go along. Bowman and Wallace too, also another group that they don't get along too well together, and they ended up, racing each other clean.
Well, Wallace doesn't seem to be the best at side drafting.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to get it very well, or maybe he's just doing it intentionally.
He's good at drafting, but not side drafting.
Yeah.
When you go back to what you're saying about where he kind of runs his car so hard at the beginning that by the time it gets to the end, he's all over the place because he's got no grip, no nothing, because everything's gone out of that car because he's ran it so hard.
Well, that was the stage 3, right? He took the lead pretty much immediately. Starting with stage 3, Larson let him go. He took the high line. We noticed all day that, on the restarts at Homestead, you wanted to be low, which was counterintuitive because all day you want to be high, right? You want to get clean air and you want to be high, but on the restart, you want to get low. And Larson was just, you can go. It's fine.
I think Larson knew what he had. Larson,
like, I'm going to get you. You're not going to be able to outlast me.
And he knew that he was one of the only ones that could stay up on that high line for as long as he could, and nobody else was going to be able to catch him.
Right.
I felt like, and then again, he had already done 700 miles, of this. So it's not like, all right, another 100 to go. Here we go. Let's finish this off, and ultimately he gets in the victory lane. So we had
Bubba. He ran maybe 70 laps ish in the lead. I think there was about 100 laps in the last stage. He lost the lead to Bowman with 33 left. And he lost position to Larson with about 8 left. And, after that, I think he got third, but they had already kind of spaced out and it was green flag. We didn't have any cautions for anybody to come up and get him. So he ended up with a third finish, which was good for him.
Yeah. They've done a great job they've kind of reminded me of Tyler Reddick last year with what they're doing with Bubba Wallace this year.
Tyler Reddick has been disappointing to me this year. Tyler Reddick has been disappointing to me thus far.
His finishes have, but again, when we'll dive into the points, I thought he was having a terrible season.
Is he higher than I think he is? He must be.
He's a lot higher than you probably think. If you think he's having a terrible season, he's in 4th. Guy didn't, and he lost a space this week. Bowman jumped up 2 and Larson jumped up 4 with the win. And again, another one that I didn't. Chase Elliott. Like, I don't feel like we've heard a lot of him running great, and there he sits at 6th. It's like,
right. So Reddick's got 2 top 5s, an additional top 10,
Yep.
He's led 43 laps. He's got no stage wins and no wins.
Yeah. No,
He's finished.
definitely
He's
not-
finished every race.
Yeah, definitely not what he, again, coming off of what he did last year, you would have felt he would have done, better at the start of the season. But I feel like they've taken the strategy that they did with Tyler Reddick last year and have turned that over to the 23 team. Because I wonder. Bubba Wallace is finishing races. He's strategizing. They're making different, they're throwing the pit strategy off a little bit enough to get them up into spots. So then, it ends up helping them out. And that's what I felt like they did with Tyler Reddick a little bit until, everything broke open and then Reddick just started running.
I'm just looking at stage wins, but, you get stage points all the way through 10th. So I wonder how many of these they're getting 7 points for being in third and 6 points for being in fourth. And, those things add up too.
Tyler Reddick's got to be doing that because he's got 189 points.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. And hold on, and out of the 189, 42 are stage points.
Okay.
Bubba Wallace has 61 stage points.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney, 69. Joey Logano, 51. William Byron's got 70. But man, when you look, like Chris Buescher has 13 stage points, and he sits in 9th place. Think about that. He's not doing anything in the stages.
No, he's just got 4 top 10s.
Yeah. He's got a top 5 and 4 top 10s. So, like, his finishes are what's helping his points. It's just, I mean, you look at Chase Briscoe's got 8 stage points. Michael McDowell, 8. Like, when you look at the stage points, Austin Cindric's sitting with 54 stage points. But that's also because of that penalty, though, right? The penalty.
Yeah. He got that penalty for turning the dude sideways.
Yeah. All right. We'll have to let that go. But man, like when you look down, it's like trying to see. Carson Hocevar is the worst. He's 27th. He's got 20 stage points. He's got 95 total points. So it's just like when you look at the points, like it really, I mean, the stages can help you, man. If you can strategically, if you know you're not going to win, you might as well get as many points as you can in the stages, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you look at this, it's like, I mean, Josh Berry's got 25 stage points. He sits at 12th right now.
Well, we've seen that all year too. Is like, all right, well, that we don't have a good car. We're running 25th. There's 3 laps left. There's some sort of like caution, or people are going, screw it, stay out there and just try to stay out.
Yeah,
try to grab points. And we've seen people stealing points like that all year. And I mean, why not? It's smart.
No, 100%, man, 100%. Because again, when you look at it, it's because right now you've got basically William Byron, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Josh Berry. Those are the only ones right now guaranteed into the playoffs with the wins. Everybody else is racing for points. And if any of these start, Kyle Larson goes on a streak, and wins, you're taking over. You're taking over positions, and it becomes that more important. Think about last year. Bubba Wallace was the only one that made it on points. Everybody else was a win. So it gets very important, and again, a lot of times, a lot of teams, I don't think about it as early as it is now, but it'll end up biting you, man. Like, oh, we should have picked up that stage, 10 point or 8 points during that one stage. Instead, I brought him in and we pitted, and now we missed the race,
Did Blaney win his championship on a year that he made points, or was that the year before? I think Blaney made points 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't remember if that was the year he won his championship or not.
I don't know. I'm trying to look it up right now.
Oh, don't worry about it. So did you notice that did you see the Star Spangled Banner from the 3 races?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
So I don't know what's going on with Homestead, but they need to work on that. I've never seen. They were all bad. The one Saturday, it was a female comedian influencer from Orlando. Oh my goodness! Oh, it was
Not
awful.
good.
Oh, it was pitchy. And it's just like, what are you doing here? Yeah, so it didn't make Homestead look good. I'm like, I know there's talent in Miami that can come down here and sing for this race. Like, you guys are
Yeah,
lazy.
it's
This is
just-
bad. This is bad. Bad job.
Yeah, it's like that's the part where like you want to get the finals back down here. You can't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why you're in March.
Yes,
why you're in March.
that's why you're in March.
Because I'll tell you now, like that fan experience is not the greatest, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
mean-
Homestead's not. Have you been? You've been to Homestead, right?
I have. I
It's
went.
it's that outside, and it's got the haulers to where you can buy merchandise. But other than that, there's not much interaction going on in there. It's more the sponsors and stuff like that. There's nothing major for you to be doing in there. I just feel like they should open it up a little bit more. Put a little bit of that flair to it. And
I don't know that it's every track, but I feel like the merchandising like row has kind of fallen back over the years.
Yeah.
I've
They
noticed
get
that at
outside the
Daytona.
track. Their
Yeah.
merchandising thing is outside the track. You have to leave the fencing area, walk down the merchandising row, and then go back into the track for the main ones. Now they have merchandising areas throughout, Homestead too, but it's like, man, like, I mean. Then they have cool things where they had this one where it was like the lockers of, I can't remember what team it was. I want to say it was Hendrix, and they had like the suits, the fire suits, and they got a couple cool things, but like you're Miami, man. Like I just feel like it could be better. It could be better. Like
It could be.
that's the reason the final race is no longer. And again, I've never been to Phoenix, so I can't say that theirs is any better. But man, the fact that like it's just, I mean, you go through cornfields and all of a sudden it opens up. It's like somebody said, "Hey, if you build it, they will come." And it's like, "Hey, okay, I'll build a racetrack."
Yeah. Well, you need the space too, and it has to be relatively cheap in order to afford it.
Oh, no,
But did you see how close the fires were this weekend?
They weren't that close. They were
Well, I
close.
mean, they were burning shrubs and fields, so it wasn't too crazy, but they were pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, the track's going, you're at mile marker 9,
Yeah.
and the fire was about mile marker 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So, you're about 6-7 miles away. I mean, you could see the smoke, and there's a couple of Kevin Gluck and some of the other, journalists that are down there were shooting pictures off on Thursday and Friday, and things like that. So, but I mean, I don't know. It just, to me, like the first time I went to Homestead, I actually went to an Xfinity race. It was the first time I ever went to Homestead.
Okay.
And I felt like I had more fun at the Xfinity race than I did when I went to the actual Cup race.
Okay.
And again, and that's also due to the fact that there's less people, of course. But like it felt like the Xfinity haulers and the merchandise there was better than the Cups, man. Like they schedule this. This is the other problem I have with Homestead. And again, not really Homestead, probably the teams. But it feels like every time they come to Homestead, Chase Elliott's at 8:30 in the morning signing autographs.
Yes.
Like, bro, make them a little later, man. You got people trying to. You know how hard it is to get to that damn track? Like, I know how to get there quicker because I know the media access, and you go through the maze of cornfields and you come up on the thing. But other than that, you're sitting in traffic. One time, I can't remember when my dad, we left at like 8:30 in the morning. We didn't pull into the place until almost 11:45.
Who?
We sat in traffic for almost 2 or 3, and by then everybody's gone. They're done. You might get a freaking, I don't know. Let me look down this list of drivers here. You might
Eric Jones.
JJ Yaley or somebody. but Like it's just like I just. And then I went to get ticket. I was looking at tickets, and they like almost force you to buy a weekend.
Yeah.
Cheaper to buy the whole weekend than it is to buy just the race, the cup race.
So when I was a kid, we used to go to Homestead. I went to Homestead with my grandfather a couple of times, and we'd take the like his buddy's RV, and we would stay the whole weekend.
I want to do that one year. I want to get an RV and just go.
It was so. I think the first time I went was '98, and that was the first time I saw someone like line the bed of a truck and make it into a redneck hot tub. Although it wasn't hot, it was just a redneck tub.
Tub, yeah.
Yep. That was probably the first time I'd seen 40-year-old boobies as well.
Look at you. Just living life, man. Living
13
life.
years old.
That
13 years old.
Area is wild after dark.
13 years old, running around, sneaking beers, looking at old ladies' boobies. Yeah.
You had to sneak the beers?
Well, I mean.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Here you go. Don't tell nobody.
Well, yeah, sneak it. Yeah, I mean.
Don't get nobody in trouble. I got statute of limitations, man. Statute of limitations.
We're talking about 98. It's fine.
Yeah, we're good.
We've gone through like 4 presidents.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. A bunch of boobies in NASCAR races.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And again, with all of the, the traditions where you stand until, they start the restart, everybody's standing and you let them get the lap before you sit down. Like, I just felt like, and that track is beautiful. Homestead is beautiful.
It is.
I just feel like it just doesn't live up to Miami other than, oh, great, we'll paint it the blue and pink in the middle. And now, we're Miami. And we got palm trees.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, and we got palm trees. Other than that, it's like, there's nothing Miami about it. Nothing.
Well, I mean, you go to Homestead and you're like, this is the same county. This is the same county as Miami. Like, what? How is this place here?
Yeah, because you don't even realize it's there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, look at this. Okay, because one time, like the first time I went the media way, I was following the directions on paper because the GPS will not take you this way. Because every time you're doing, like, I had to follow the paper because it's like, you'll go to this field at the stop sign, take a right. Then you'll go 3 fields and at that stop sign, take a. That's how it was. And I'm like,
it's like a storm chaser.
You turn now. Like, get out of here, And then all of a sudden it's like, I don't think I'm going to end up anywhere. And then all of a sudden you look and it's like, oh, hey, there's Jimmy Johnson riding his bike. Oh, hey, there's Casey Kane running. Hey, you're like, oh, so the track must be this way somewhere. And it's a back way in. But like it's just like I just don't feel like they do enough of the Miami life, like the Miami vibe, man, of the
it's
race.
hard.
Like,
it's hard to. I mean, it's not that it's so far, it's just that it's more like going to Okeechobee. You ever been to Okeechobee?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like when you're in Homestead, you're closer to Okeechobee than you are Miami.
Maybe, but what I'm saying is the vibe, though. You could still have that feeling of Miami. Again, we're not South Beach, but like I just don't feel like any of, other than the paint, anything is Miami vibe. Like even when you look at the stands there's not really like the food. It's not even Miami-ish in a way, man. It's regular NASCAR food.
And I'll be honest, I don't like the paint there. I think it makes the track look dated.
You know what I do? I only love it when they use it to do the burnouts. Because then the smoke and the smoke is blue and pink. Like that is awesome. But that's it. Cool. I don't like that necessarily either. But at least that's Miami-ish in a way, or what people see as Miami-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the race to. Like it feels like they put you in March to kind of tell you that, hey, you're not doing. Here's your March race. There you go. You get a race, but you're getting March. It means nothing.
Is that the only race they have?
That's it.
Oh, I didn't know it was only one this year.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
March. Yeah, that's it, man.
So they went from the championship race down to just one in March.
Well, they've only had one in March the year before. Then last year they were back in the playoffs.
Okay.
In the final round of the playoffs, and then this year they're back in March. It's like they're just
Are they
alternating
gonna
every
go back
other
and
year. They
forth?
go in and out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, but again, it's just like when you look at it, it's like, man, again, I'm being a homer here, but I would love for them to just do something, man. Just make it more. I don't know, man.
You can only invite pit bulls so many times.
Women in bikinis in Victory Lane, man. You know what I'm saying? Like something, man. Make it something, man. Go back to the old school, man.
I mean, they had, for TV at least, they had panorama shots of Key Biscayne and
Yeah.
Miami Bay, and
Yeah. No,
okay.
I mean, the TV side does a good job. I mean, the track.
No, I know.
The track needs to figure something out to make it, because like you said, look at the national anthem stuff. And then like I saw they sent out, here's the Sunday, like the whatever, the pace car driver and all this stuff. And I'm like, who the hell is that? It was like, again,
We got Bradley Chubb to say, start your engines. So they give us Dolphin.
So then who was?
Yeah,
That must have been the Xfinity race or the truck race then.
I don't know. Maybe I just remember Bradley Chubb saying, "Gentlemen, start your engines."
No, it was the truck race. They had two Latin groups as like the master of ceremonies or something, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, I don't know, man. I want more for this track, because I want the damn championship race back, man. That's what I want. The first 4 years I covered, 3 years I was in media. Now I don't even apply for media because it's just blah.
What about a repave?
No, I don't think the racing's bad.
No, but still switch it up.
You could repave it and switch up the racing. I just think the experience is bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to get NASCAR with all this other stuff going on. You're racing in Mexico now. You're doing all these other things. Like, you need to be competitive. You can't just be like, hey, this is what we got.
The one thing I do love about Homestead is you can see everything.
Here's
you can see everything.
Huh? Oh yeah, Homestead.
You can see everything.
This for Homestead. How about this for Homestead? Open up the road course.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of road courses, but I wouldn't mind them 1 year going there and trying that road course. I like that. That road course is a little tricky. But again, I don't know how that can work out for the big NASCARs, because it's more for the performance cars. I don't know if those are as wide based as, because there's some areas when they race there that doesn't look like two cars could go through. You're going to have to stay in a very, very single line. But the cool thing is you go in and out and you come out at like turn 2, and then you've got hole 3 and 4 before you hit back into. So it's kind of like what the Daytona is, but a little bit, a little bit bigger. So I wouldn't mind seeing that one time. I don't know if I'd like to see it, because I'll tell you now, I didn't like the Daytona road course.
That's what Daytona.
Speedway, yeah. Like
now, how about this? So instead of going to Chicago every year and doing the road course, you switch up that road course. And I don't know, maybe do the F1 course in Miami.
I don't know if Hard Rock can handle that.
They could do it.
The interesting part with Hard Rock is a lot of that, some of that stuff's actually on like asphalt.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if those cars would, the weight of those cars would, again, I don't know what the F1 cars weigh, but I don't know. That might, maybe that'd be interesting.
They put a racetrack in the Coliseum. If they want to, they can do it.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is like, I think the 4th of July race, I love the Chicago street course, but why don't you move it to different cities every year? So that 4th of July weekend is in a different, I don't know, again, a different area to celebrate. Although I do love the Chicago. I'm not going to lie, man. I love that just because of the backdrop and some of those pictures.
Yeah.
You see the cars going, and it's just the Chicago skyline a little bit. It's like, all right, this is pretty good. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, Chicago has 100 days every year where you can go outside,
Yeah,
and it's smack in the middle of it, so it's pretty nice.
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, I don't know if I'd go there to watch the race because I'm not a big road course guy. I'm not, man. I mean, and it's probably one of the ones where it probably requires the most skill. One of them, some of more of the most skill. But I just watching it again. I've never been to one. Maybe live it'll be different because I said the same thing about hockey. Then I went and saw hockey live,
Right.
and I kind of fell in love with it. So um, maybe it's one of those things I got to go see and then watch it. Because again, I liked. I don't know if you've ever far FARA racing, FARA racing. They're the like the IMSA, but on a lower level. It's like local people. They rent out Homestead and they run the road course
Okay.
with cars. And we went there and we were streaming that and doing interviews with the drivers and things like that. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool for that, being there live. But I don't know. I get so used to the speed that is to me is what fascinates me with NASCAR. The fact that you can go 185 miles an hour on a straightaway and then have to brake and go 37, like it's just like
Yeah.
it's amazing to me on some of the things that happen there, man. Anything else from Homestead?
No, nothing else from Homestead.
Real quick, I'm going to go through the top 15.
Okay.
We'll start. It'll be in order. So you've got William Byron, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin. Actually, let me do this real quick. William Byron's the leader. Kyle Larson's second. He moved up 4 spots. Alex Bowman is third. He moved up 2 spots. Tyler Reddick is fourth. He moved down a spot. Christopher Bell is fifth. He moved down 3 spots. Chase Elliott dropped 2 spots to 6. Bubba Wallace jumps 4 spots to 7. Denny Hamlin jumps 4 spots to 8. Chris Buescher stays pat at 9. Ryan Blaney drops 3 spots to 10. Joey Logano drops 3 spots to 11. Josh Berry went up a spot to 12th. Chase Briscoe is on the move, 7 spots to 13. Ross Chastain dropped 4 spots to 14, and Michael McDowell rounds out the top 15, and he dropped 4 spots to get there. So there's your top 15, and the biggest mover looks to be Chase Briscoe. He moved 7 spots, and the biggest loser is, I believe, Carson Hocevar dropped 5 spots. I believe that's the biggest drop of right after Homestead. So now we'll go to Martinsville. There's going to be some banging. There's going to be some beating. There's going to be some wrecks. There's going to be hurt feelings.
Yep.
There's probably going to be some changes in a lot of this this whole landscape. What are some of your thoughts heading to Martinsville?
I love this car and this track because they made this car sturdier. And Martinsville is all about getting to that corner as you can first, kind of edging people out, and then staying inside. And they'll push you to get in. Like it's and not to mention that braking so people come in hot all the time, just take people out. We saw a little bit of that at the road course where they come in a little hot and they try to get that corner. I think beginning of the race we saw that. Yeah, I forget who it was exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But,
it reminds me of Bristol a little bit, but even worse because Bristol's kind of got the turn that keeps turning. This one is it's a paperclip. It's it's definitely
essentially flat.
That, yeah,
and it's essentially flat, which is like the most interesting part. So there is no embankment for you to lean up on. You have to slow down to turn. You have to, because if not, you're going to fly forward. And I've seen people
lap
traffic. It's so short. There's so much lap traffic. It's chaos.
Yep.
And
the
infield is tight.
Like you lose the brakes. You don't get to slow down. You end up plowing in, taking people out, not even meaning to.
And we thought Homestead had a tight pit road.
Yeah.
And everything's getting shrunk down this week, and it's not like Bristol where you can keep good speed. You've got high end banks. You can race
Yeah.
5 wide. Not happening. The thing is flat and it's brutal. And these cars are meant to take a beating, and these guys quit.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, man. I'm happy that they got, I believe it's Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup again this weekend too. So that's going to be.
There are all three.
Yeah. So I'm going to be happy with that. And then, by the way, Kyle Larson fans, the next time he'll race all three will be in Bristol. So we'll see if he can go for the sweep then. At least that's what they said on the thing. So it'll be very interesting. And another person who I will say kind of been disappointing lately, by the way, Kyle Busch, man. That 8 team is not for, again, they started out good, decent, and it just feels like if there's something bad going to happen to a car out there, look for the 8.
I don't remember hearing his name at Homestead.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him. I don't think I did. I don't know if I saw him or not.
You know what? You're right. You're right, because when I went back, I watched Vegas right before we went live. That's why I remember Kyle Busch, because his damn tire fell off.
Yeah, no, he was doing pretty well in Vegas until he had the issue, and he just fell in line with a bunch of other people that had mistakes. It was wild. But at Homestead, I don't think I heard his name.
Hold on a minute. I'm trying to look up the Homestead results right now to see where he finished.
He probably finished like 8th.
Yeah, we're going to be 21st.
21st, yeah. So he was just kind of back there, and he didn't make much noise.
Keselowski, man, 26th. It's just it's one of those years to where it's like, man, like you expect guys, I guess, again, Joey Logano, 14th. Logano usually runs pretty good at Homestead. Hell, he won a championship there one year.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, 18th. Cindric was 19th. McDowell, 20th.
Chase Elliott's another one. I feel like I never hear his name.
Yeah, it's like I was amazed to see him in 6th. And the thing is, I'm like, I remember them talking about him like at the beginning of the race, but as the race is going on, I don't usually hear a whole lot of Chase Elliott talk right now. Lately.
Yeah, you can't tell me NASCAR is scripted, because if it was scripted, we'd hear Chase Elliott a lot more. I mean, he's the most popular driver.
Yeah. Yep. Looking at this here now. Cole Custer finished 28th. Christopher Bell, 29th. And these are all one lap down, by the way. Keselowski finished a lap down. Dillon a lap down. Cole Custer a lap down. Bell, Gilliland, Chastain, and Van Gisbergen. Herbst, Cody Ware was 2 laps down. Yaley 4 laps down. And then Blaney was 60 laps down. Hocevar 82 laps down.
Oh yeah. So you reminded me. Did we talk about Blaney blowing 2 engines in 3 weeks?
Yeah, both a mile and a half tracks. Like, what is going on there?
I don't know. I mean, he was really strong. I thought he was.
Yeah.
He was probably the one person that could beat Kyle Larson this week, and he blew that engine. But yeah, two in 3 weeks.
Is it? Have they figured out an issue? Is there something? Because none of the other cars are doing it.
No, I have no idea if it's something he's doing. I don't know if one of his guys is just bad at putting a piece on. No clue. But I just know it seems to be a consistent issue. I mean, twice in 3 weeks, and that's like Rusty Wallace type stuff.
Yeah, that's bad, man. That's bad, especially like, again, mile and a half. It's not like, I guess maybe, I don't know. You're not shifting a whole lot, so it wouldn't be something where he missed a shift or something usually for that.
Not much.
Not enough to where. Yeah, so I don't. Man, yeah, and he's the only one lately that. Has there been any other engine blows? I'm thinking back now, like.
Not that I can think of. I mean,
maybe some of the smaller teams. I mean, I don't know. Although this year, it's like even JJ Yaley in the 44, he finished 4 laps down, but he finished the damn race.
Yeah.
Like, the only 2 that didn't finish the race were Blaney and Hocevar. And Blaney was an issue, and I'm sure Hocevar was something.
It was a clean race. It was a very clean race.
Wow, Hocevar led 4 laps.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he stayed out.
Yeah. Oh, is that what? Okay.
Yeah. He stayed out. He stayed out the longest, and he led a couple of laps.
There
He
you
didn't
go.
get a stage winner or anything from it, but
Yeah. No.
so
No. Yeah.
they had the strategy where people were staying out. Some were going in early, and then some were staying out and trying to split the stages in half. And he just stayed out past that, and he got a couple of laps led, and he got passed pretty quickly.
Good deal. Awesome, man. All right, Spencer. Let them know where they can get a hold of you, man.
All right. Well, you can find me on X at NoldOut87, and then you can find me on on the Squared Circle Digest. I won't be on there, but I'll be on the chat board talking nonsense. So
Or
hit me up.
you might have to make your debut WrestleMania weekend. We'll discuss that.
Yeah, hit me up
If you can do it.
if I can.
If you can. Yeah. I know you've got things you've got to take care of. I know you're not like you're just sitting there and doing nothing. I didn't mean that way. I meant
No. I just meant. I mean, I'm already sitting there like running my little fingers. I'm pretty sure I can hop on.
All right, good deal. All right, then you can catch me at Stanley Media _11 at Stanley Media House everywhere else, and of course we're Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. Spencer, thank you so much, man. Again, next week we will be talking Martinsville, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of. I'm gonna have to get some sound. Hopefully they'll send out the what's the all access there when they do the microphone and they do the all access. What do they call it? Radioactive.
Okay. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
Not enough to where I can get some clips from that because I'm sure this is going to be so good this week. And until next week, see you next week right here on Talking Racing.